Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Hamparian. I am the product manager for EZproxy and a few other products that we offer. And today we're here to talk about EZproxy Analytics, something that we just announced last week, and we're very excited about it. So I'll give you, we'll have about 10 minutes, and then certainly we can chat some more afterwards if you'd like. First of all, for context, EZproxy itself is the leading library e-content access program. So it's a combination of access to e-content plus a variety of authentication connectors that get you access to content and access to authentication systems at your library. And we support a number of those, including SAML and LDAP, and then a variety of library protocols. If you have library barcodes you want to authenticate on, if you have a SIP server you want to authenticate with, we can do that for you. Libraries prefer EZproxy for a number of reasons, but the overall reason is that it gives libraries control over the access decisions that are being made. And so the libraries are in the middle of the decision making, which we think is a very valuable thing. And it also, because it doesn't pass by default data about users to content providers, it helps to preserve privacy. And then as an interesting sidelight, it produces pretty rich log data. And that's sort of what we're going to concentrate on here today, is that log data part of the product. So we just announced this last week. It's a hosted service that we will offer in 3 data centers, US, Australia, and Europe. And I don't know how many of you have EZproxy, but normally when you look at the logs for EZproxy, this is what you see. And you think, how could this be useful? It's barely readable, let alone useful. But that is the input to our EZproxy Analytics service that allows you to generate graphs and charts and enrich data. And so this is an example of a sort of a platform report by group over the last 30 days. So our goals here with EZproxy Analytics, we wanted to give you holistic usage information across your subscriptions. So counter data is really good. It gives you a great feel for what's happening on a particular publisher platform. We wanted to sort of broaden that and give you a view over your platforms with one set of statistics, one set of data. And so we thought that would be really helpful to you. We enrich that the data that comes out of the EZproxy logs. The EZproxy log data, as you saw on that other slide, is not particularly understandable, and we do the work of transforming it for you. We have dashboards. It's a true data management facility where you can store, search, query, export, everything you want to do is part of this facility. And the other exciting thing is that you can create your own custom reports. We have a lot of reports we've created, but we can't imagine everything you want to do with this data. You might want to integrate into learning analytics. You might want to integrate into student success. You might want to integrate it into a larger, maybe a gate count report, a library effectiveness report. It's all up to you. So we had 2 stories, sort of user stories we wanted to describe. One was analyzing collections with EZproxy Analytics, and then one coming up is around security. So here's a chart. In fact, it's a similar chart to the one we just showed you, but basically has platforms by group and the count of accesses to content within those platforms. It's pretty interesting for you. Groups are really important because usually it takes a lot of work to set up. We just offer it for you with our analytics offering. So here it demonstrates the ability to take that pretty diagram and export it and use it somewhere else. You have a report you publish monthly, an email you send to the management team, whatever you want to do, boom, you have that, you can export it. Now this is a picture of the sort of the data interface, and you can see the data, some of the data elements there. You can see a list of data elements down on the left, and you can see counts based on searches, which we'll go through briefly. And what we're searching for are faculty. So what we did is we took the usage data, last 30 days, looked for faculty in the group. And you can see as we highlight that, and 8,959 hits. Then you can take this data, you can customize this. You can add fields, you can subtract fields based on the fields we have for you. And then you can export it. Take it to CSV, because, as we know, again, we can't think of it all. We know this data has to be combined with other data in many cases, so we just provide the ability for you to export that data and use it in whatever way you want to. Our second story is around security. So this is a part of our security dashboard. So we supply a couple dashboards for you with a number of customized reports. This is a sample data set emphasizing where people are logging in from, the count of login failures and the count of successful logins. So again, if you look up on the far right, you see it's the last 30 days. Let me describe this. You can put in an audit event type. So in our case, we're using login success for this. And then the country. If you have a multi-country campus or you're looking for usage around the world, you can restrict by the country that you want to see. Here is obviously a map that shows usage around the U.S. in this case. And you can see the big red blob would indicate that your campus is probably in New England somewhere. That's where most of your usage is. But you can see usage in other areas. And then you have the ability to filter by time. Do you want a year's worth of reporting? Do you want yesterday's? Do you want the last 10 minutes? You sort of make your mind up on how you want to do this. And then we provide some other sort of canned reports. Now, because we're using test data, the data is anonymized, so these usernames are not particularly meaningful. It's not, Joe at the library, it's some random string. But what it shows you is that for a particular period of time, you define these users were your top users. And this is the number of logins. And you can also search by failures. So if you're seeing this first user, we'll call this first user Jane, because I'm not going to try to pronounce that. But let's say Jane had 20 login failures. You might want to reach out to Jane and say, hey, are you able to access this? Are you having trouble with your credentials? And that can be really useful. Or you might want to make sure that you're not seeing someone trying to use these credentials for other purposes. And so this is just part of what the security features offer. We'll be announcing more security features over the next 6 months for EZproxy. But this gives you the ability to report, to check security, and to show how your usage is doing over time. You can plot login successes over time. You can see how your usage is doing. It also helps with seasonality. So every library has seasons, ups and downs in usage. Where do we need to staff? Where do we not need to staff? This makes it, with the graphing and everything, makes it very useful. Logins from multiple geographies. Now, traditionally, we use that in the security arena because if someone is logging in from 3 countries and 3 hemispheres in the last 20 minutes, that's a sign that things may not be real good, and you might want to turn off those credentials. And so this report's very helpful for that purpose. And in this case, with the anonymized data, most of them are from the U.S. There's a few that we set up for Germany. And you can do this based again on how long you make your time filter. Do you want this over a year? You want it over 10 minutes? That's your choice. And that was the quick run through of EZproxy Analytics. I'm happy to spend time discussing further. If there are any questions, I'm happy to entertain those. We're excited about this because for years EZproxy has been generating this data, but there just hasn't been a great way to use it in a reporting setting. Thank you.